Well, I didn't get much sleep last night, and part of the reason I had it is because I'm having a problem with one of my eyes. I've got floaters in them, and last night I thought I found something on the net that said that what I'm seeing is something called PVD, post vitreous something, and it's has to do posterior vitreous um, something. And what it has to do is the guys my age, um, the gel-like stuff that's inside of your eye breaks down, and one of the things that happens is it might actually start pulling at the back of the retina, and the worst case scenario of such a thing is that it may not be PVD. It may be that you experience a retinal detachment, which is a big scary thing. It's something that they can fix, but retinal detachment means that your retina the just starts to it pulls away from your eye, and if you have something called a retinal tear, the way you can tell if you've got a retinal tear, say the tear starts at the top of your eye, or you will have what will look like blood drops, little drops in your vision, little black spots in your vision going up your eye, because your eye um, flips everything that it sees. The blood, the what it is blood drops that are dropping into your eye from top down, and they go up in your vision. And so you see those, and then you see something that looks like part of the retina, or part of your retina is just not is warped. Some of your vision is warped, and I'm not experiencing any of that stuff, but I've got some stuff that is similar to PVD, and I was just like, oh man, I have to go see an ophthalmologist tonight, and I just didn't get any sleep. Now I'm just not as concerned about it. I just have to get in and see a doctor to deal with it. Um, but for several weeks, I've had like a new mass of floaters in my eye, and they're going away. What your brain does is it anything that sits too long in there, or that it because the way that neurons work, they have the capacity to ignore things. They have the capacity to figure things out and make the things disappear. By saying, "Well, we know what's there and we know what's behind it, so we'll just fill in what's behind over it, and it'll just you'll see it, but only if you look up in the sky on a bright day, you'll see these little lines in your vision, and that's where there are floaters, but your brain has effectively made them disappear by using information from related retinal cones nearby that are figuring out. And this happens like if you have a complete hole in your vision. My dad would do this. He had like macular degeneration. He had like a pie shape of something off to the side of his eye that it was a hole, and he used to be fascinated by. He'd just be sitting there eating his fruit, and he would like say, if I look over at that planter over there, your head disappears. It gets filled in with the shade and the shadow of the wall behind you. And he says, and the really funny thing is if I look at a patterned bit of wallpaper, then this area, which I know is the image is removed, will get filled in with whatever the wallpaper is. And so this is what your brain does. It deals with holes in your vision, and everybody has missing. They have parts of their vision that aren't there. Um, you think that all of the detail you see in your vision is all super detailed. What that is that's your brain that has that is your brain that is painting in all that detail. When when what your eye does is it darts all over the place, and it's like it's painting a picture, and it's using the center of your eye where all of your vision's at, um, to pick up all of that detail, and then the brain fills it in by remembering what was there whenever it passed over. And so it makes you think that everything is clear and well detailed whenever what you're really seeing is what was there when your center of your vision passed over it as it was jostling around. And that's how your brain augments what you see, and it's the reason why optical illusions have such an effect and fool you, is because it's taking advantage of the fact that your vision is not perfect. Nobody's vision is perfect. Um, the eyes don't have sensors, um, don't have complete sensor perception all throughout the eye. It's mostly in the center, and the stuff that's on the outskirts of that center. Um, there's less sensors, and so to make up for that, the brain imagines stuff. It either imagines or it fills it in with what it knows is there based upon when the eye was there last. And it tries to make sense of what you see. And it does it, and it makes sense when you got two eyes. It makes sense of the depth of where things are at. And it's for this reason that VR 180, whenever I do my VR 180 videos, you feel like you're there, is because the brain figures that all out for you. And if you've only got one eye, you don't get any depth perception. However, you still have the capacity to adjust. The eyes have the capacity to adjust what they're looking upon, and you will get a kind of a blurry effect. You get something that that gives you a little bit of a 3D perception, but it's not really. It's where you're focused in an image becomes clear because the lenses are adjusted to focus in on that area of the image, but the rest of the image will be blurred out, and that's natural. That in you get that effect whether you have one or two eyes. You'll have that effect, and it permits you to see things. And so my voice starts trailing off because I'm so fucking tired. I was watching some broadcasts. There's this one broadcast that just really pisses me off. I'm gonna put it on a separate video because these things get to be too long.